What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to give you an overview of what is happening with Lucid, go over some of the data points and what shorts are doing. Before I get into any of that, you guys know the deal by now. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And with that said, let's get right to it. So Lucid right now is down 2.58%. Couple different attributing factors, one of which is just last minute jitters going into CPI, and that is tomorrow. But at the same time, if you look at the volume, which on a side note, we are about to head into power hour, just so you have a timeline on where we are. But 19.8 million shares have been traded, 38.1 is the average. So it is very clear that big money is not buying Lucid. As you can kind of see, these are some of the transactions that have occurred on the secondary market above $100,000. So same as the last week and a bit, just big money has not been buying. And that is very unfortunate, but what's really worked out in Lucid's favor is shorts continuously closing out the position. Again, for what reason? I'm not really sure, but technically that has really helped Lucid stay afloat. Because again, by shorts returning some shares, they are adding buying pressure. So in exchange of big money not buying, shorts have really kind of helped out Lucid, as weird as that sounds. But today there has been no news, no SEC filings, nothing along those lines. They did do a couple tweets associated to this. So their Lucid Knowledge Center unveiling. And I really like this. Is this a reason to buy Lucid? Not so much, but I think if you're looking for more of a deeper dive into Lucid and what they're all about, I think this is a good place to start. So this is probably a very big improvement based on a lot of their other kind of updates that they've been doing. But still, like I said, when it comes down to big money buying, there just isn't anything to kind of hang on to. So big money needs a catalyst. And right now, Lucid has really failed significantly, in fact, to give any investor, retail or institution, a reason to buy right now. Like for instance, the Gravity reservations. When is that going to be? Is that going to be in the summer? Is that going to be 2 months before they actually start production? Or is that going to be this month? Like nobody necessarily knows when stuff is coming out. And so thus, still no reason to buy. And so that kind of explains why big money has not been really getting into Lucid. But today is that defining factor because shorts started to go back to their old ways. So they did increase so far 1.24 million shares, 27.53% of the free float is being shorted, and 242.35 million shares overall are being shorted, and cost to borrow average is 22.64%. So in reality, this is the only dynamic that has changed that is really causing Lucid to go down, is because normally shorts have been kind of selling or returning some of their shares, thus adding buying pressure. Kind of eliminating that now, this is why you're getting a downtrend. So it's very unfortunate on how things are. Plus, you can kind of see based on the intraday of shorts, they did increase pretty significantly straight away. So most likely these two big candles right here was them just to break past any resistance level or potentially cause a trigger event. And that would be through stop losses and whatever else. So from the get-go, shorts wanted to bring it down again, whether it be because of last minute jitters going into CPI, or maybe this was a part of something bigger to really take Lucid down. I'm not really sure. But once again, let me know your thoughts on Lucid and give yourself a shout out if you have been buying today or if you've been selling. When I did my video yesterday, obviously, I think the micro technicals are looking fairly good and optimistic, especially if CPI is positive, then you could get a nice relief rally for Lucid. But as of right now, based on the technicals, it is looking somewhat negative. So no new analyst ratings. So these are all of them. Last one was done 4 days ago by RBC Capital, $3 rating. But as I brought up, based on the Elliott wave technicals, it is projected for it to kind of hit the low twos. That's assuming it is below this pivot point of $3.67. So again, not necessarily the best. CPI could definitely change the dynamic of that, but as it stands, Lucid will be continuing to trend down, as unfortunate as that is. One positive thing that did come out is this. So Sultan posts this quite frequently, and I really like this. This is obviously the configuration of under the PIF umbrella. So we already do know Lucid has a lot of connections, and once again, that could really help for licensing agreements down the line, but good old 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗡𝗖𝗧. And so I think a lot of people did assume that there would be something in the works between Lucid and 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗡. Nothing announced as of yet. But it does look like 𝗖𝗧 was awarded 1.3 billion for their EV factory. So definitely the PIF is going to have a huge foothold in that region. And 𝗖𝗧 is going to be probably targeting definitely the other areas. So this is why I've done a video in the past, I think it was a good year ago. This is how Lucid essentially was going to have a 3-layered approach, or I guess more so the PIF. So they'd have Lucid as more so their luxury brand. They would have 𝗖𝗧 more so for their middle, and through their partnership with, I can't remember, one of the Chinese companies would be more so the low end. So I think this is part of the PIF's bigger picture. And so I guess that's kind of a good thing. And coincidentally as well, that article did come out last week on how the PIF wouldn't necessarily be supporting Lucid, or that's what Peter does assume, for future dilution. So maybe because the PIF is going to be focusing on 𝗖𝗧 rather than Lucid, again, something that we do not know. As far as options though, I'll give you a quick overview of everything. So $569,000 in calls being purchased versus 226 in puts. So in comparison to the last several even trading days last week near the tail end, dollar value isn't necessarily getting into options. Sentiment wise though, 49% of all the options being done so far today are bearish, and of course that's kind of just piggybacking off of the technicals. Of the call options that are being purchased, there's a consensus for it to be above 350, and then looking at puts, it is anticipated for it to be sub roughly $3. And based on that, the risk versus reward definitely does look like it is there. But looking at some of the technicals, so right now with it at $3.02, it is trading between this S1 and this pivot. So $2.97 is a very strong support. In fact, it did bounce off of that, still kind of within range, so it might be tested once again. And then $3.37 will be that next strong resistance. As far as right now, it is still lower percentile of the Bollinger Band after its kind of failed attempt to transition into the higher. That was done a good week ago or so. Looking at stochastic, it is still bearish, so you do see a deviation, red line above the white, but it is pulling down. So like I said, if there's a good piece of news specific to Lucid or the broader market, aka CPI, this is where you could see a rush of value investors of some sorts, but number of retail investors have been getting out. So like I said, big money isn't necessarily buying Lucid up. Shorts have just been kind of in control, and whatever shorts are doing, it's really dictating the price of where Lucid is going. And when I did my video yesterday, I was assuming that shorts were going to continue to close out the position, similar to what they have done for, I think, 6 or 7 consecutive trading days. But clearly, I was very much wrong about that. So let me know your thoughts on Lucid. Why do you think it is trending down? Is there a reason why shorts now all of a sudden are starting to increase? And do you think that there is something in the works for Lucid that like they can actually put out of substance? Obviously a short-term catalyst. Like, do you think something is in the works? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. But one final thing, don't forget to sign up for this promo. Amazing deal. Simply sign up for an account with Moomoo, throw $100 at it, and they give you 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. So make sure you take advantage of this. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.